Welcome to the Freedom Chronicles.
Definitely an antisocial type.
Only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger.
Hi, perhaps you recognize me. It's your favorite president.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
We got a loudspeaker here, and when we go into battle, we play music very loud.
With a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Freedom Chronicles. I'm your host, Mike Imbasciani. Thank you for joining us. We are, of course, broadcasting from the Brian Chapman State Farm bunker right here in Southwest Florida. And like a good neighbor, Brian Chapman State Farm is there for all of the insurance needs that you have for your very own bunker. You can give his office a call at 941-625-9998 or visit the office at 2040 Tamiami Trail in Port Charlotte. And don't forget, this show is sponsored by the Local Meat Club by Tyrone and Marcella Jackson, based out of Columbus, Ohio. You can go to localmeatclub.com using the affiliate link in the description of this video and use the promo code FreedomCow, all caps, so that they know we sent you. Members have access to locally raised, hormone-free freezer beef. You can choose from aged Angus ground beef, ribeye steaks, breakfast sausage, bacon, and even raw butter and raw milk. You can even get the family week's worth package that includes breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Be sure to also pick up Tyrone's book, Life's Little Handbook, 7 Steps to Finding Success in Life, which explores some of life's most challenging questions. At just 54 pages, it's simple and straight to the point. Join the club and experience the difference that fresh, life-supporting food makes. Use the link in the description. Use promo code FreedomCow, localmeatclub.com. With me, as always, Mr. Ken Lovejoy.
It's some good eating that.
Yeah, we had some good eating last week.
Yep.
And a guest that was on once before is back, and she is running for Florida State Representative. It's Raemi Eagle Glenn. Raemi, how are you?
Hey, guys.
How you doing?
I'm so good. Thank you for inviting me back on the show. It's nice to see you, Mike and Ken.
So tell us,
having a good time.
Excellent.
You've got you were fighting for single member districts up there. You won that. Have you noticed any organization, going on in the different districts now that you're a single member?
Absolutely. So the now once again Democrat saturated county commission is already trying to find a way to reverse all of our progress with getting single member ballots, getting single member districts on the ballot, and then actually winning by a very slight margin. We got about a little over 51%. So the Democrat, I don't even want to call it a stronghold. I want to call it the block, like the communist block.
Yeah.
They are using county resources to have the county attorney draft letters supposedly addressed to the public and what they need to do if they want to get single member districts back on the ballot to reverse everything. And what the Democrats now will do, the people will probably go through the petition process to get it done. It's a pretty high bar and a lot of time to do that, but that's what they do. And many of them, they don't really.
It's funny to me because Sarasota County also just voted to go to single member districts, and their county commission also tried very hard to reverse that to go back to at large. Sarasota County predominantly Republican. Alachua County predominantly, majority Democrat. I think it's funny that they don't want to give up that amount of power.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Once they have it, they don't want to
regardless of party.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that absolutely it's going to work against the Republicans in Sarasota County. And I think what you're seeing in Sarasota County now is a shift towards the left. And that's why single member districts won there. And that was an effort by the left,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion.
Oh,
I
I
know
agree. I
Definitely.
agree. Yeah.
Christian Ziegler is was a county commissioner there. He didn't run for reelection because he's a pollster, and he saw that he wasn't going to be able to win because of what we just said, a shift to the
Mm-hmm.
left, and he was strongly disfavoring single member districts. So it's
Mm-hmm.
true. Um, it works in the Democrats' favor, but they're the most hypocritical about it because it was to break up racial segregation. That's why we went to single member districts. And the NAACP all over the country supports single member districts, except in Alachua County.
Of course. So you ran for the county commissioner after you had been assigned to the seat, and now obviously Alachua County is a huge Democrat stronghold or communist bloc, like you mentioned. And I'm wearing the perfect hat for that today.
What does your hat say? Lean into the
The
camera.
the
There. What's that
final
say?
variant is communism.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so now you're running for Florida State House. What
district is that?
Yeah, what district is that?
So we've gone through the process of redistricting. This is now House District 22, which covers some western precincts of Alachua County, which is the most populous county in the district, and all of Gilchrist County and all of Levy County. So
Okay.
Alachua County is, the densely populated city area. Levy County and Gilchrist County are rural counties.
Gotcha. And
And
before we started the show, you mentioned that the county commission race that you did, you essentially got the same amount of support and percentage that DeSantis did for governor here. So are you seeing that red wave, or at least the red puddle, kind of turn for that county and more people waking up, or is it still kind of difficult?
It's still kind of difficult, to be honest. And now we have people who are coming here for the university, people who are working for the university who, may be more leftist leaning, moving out into the outskirts of the county, which has typically
Yeah.
been our red strongholds. And, the battle will never end. That's what I tell people. Like, you can't, yay, we won single member districts, celebrate for a day, gloat for a
And then back to
day,
work.
and that's just the way it's going to be.
Well, it's a bigger race that you're involved in now, and you've got a lot more counties thrown into your district. How and I think you're doing the right thing. You filing early, getting out there. You got to get out there, get your name recognition. Knocking on doors and shaking hands. What is the political makeup of Levy County and the other counties in your district?
Well, they're not nearly as populous as Alachua County, but they are, red as hell.
Good.
Good. Very
That's
good.
good. And how has it been? How has it been for you going out and campaigning out there and letting people know that you're on the ballot and what your views are?
Everyone is very excited. It's so different to walk out into a community where, you're not an outsider. Everybody's very receptive. They're
Good.
very appreciative that I'm coming. I haven't been out to Levy and Gilchrist County much. I've practiced law out at the courthouses. I know the judges and I know the law enforcement at the courthouses, but it's just these little meet and greets that matter. And a simple thing to do to fill up your calendar on the campaign trail is to follow the chambers of commerce for the different communities and to see
Yeah.
what's going on. It's amazing. The Chamber of Commerce of Gilchrist County, they posted an opening of the R&J fuel stop out in Bell, Florida. And I was up in court and decided I'm going to stop by, and the whole town was there. So I got to meet the sheriff and the county commissioners and the city commissioners.
That's good.
And, I've got things like that scheduled throughout this first month of my campaign. And, it's coming from a place
keep your car tuned up.
Oh, I love my car. That thing is a road warrior. It's been the best car I've ever had. Yeah,
Good. You're going to be
that's
putting a
good
lot of
advice.
miles on it.
And it already has a lot, man. But that thing, knock on wood, so they say, it's a good car.
Good.
Now when is
And it's
that election going to be coming up? Is that part of 24?
it is, but really my biggest fight will be the primary.
Yeah.
And I have one primary opponent. Um, I'm going to outwork him. I told everybody that. I told the people who wanted to run him against me, like, you sure, guys? I'm giving you the opportunity to get with a winner now. But I guess they want to make me work for it. And I know that nothing as rewarding as this is going to come easy. So I'm ready
No.
for it.
Yeah.
Good. Debates or anything set up yet?
Probably not in the primary. And let me tell you, I would not be surprised if no one else joins the primary. You'd think for an open seat, people would be just lining up, but I
No.
think they realize that, they're not going to really have a shot.
Good.
No, good.
Good.
Excellent.
That's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So, another thing we just talked about briefly before we started was it's less about the parties and the groups of people. Like, I'm sure the Tea Party is still somewhere, doing their thing, doing their meetings, and you have all these conservative groups and even just non-political groups that still end up being political anyway. But and that's kind of been the overarching theme for a lot of these shows since the beginning of the year. But what do you see as being something that an everyday person, maybe non-political, but they're still seeing the rise in eggs, they're seeing the inflation, they're seeing the problems that are happening. What to you is something that individuals can do to get more involved in their community and start understanding what's going on in their community?
Mm-hmm. Well, my story in 2018 being this outcast in this deep blue county here, I sought out the REC. That's the Republican Executive Committee of Alachua County. And I do hear from a lot of people that, want to come to a meeting or two, and they, don't like what they see, don't like what they hear, they think it's boring. The bottom line is, it is probably the most embedded piece of infrastructure to become politically involved in your county. And when people have a problem with their RECs, I say, well, be the change that you want to see in your
Yeah.
local party, be the change that you want to see in the Republican Party. And really, what an REC is supposed to be is an infrastructure to gather Republicans when there's elections coming up, to work with the Republican Party of Florida, to work with the RNC and the different campaigns, to have a headquarters, to centralize, your materials, to have a place for people to come and phone bank. Really, it is a great hub. And so there is a benefit of the RECs there. I know that intra-party politics can just be the most treacherous politics there are, even against our opposition, which,
Yep.
I
Because
will
you know
say
what you're
are
getting from
actually,
Democrats.
yeah, communism. They're actually,
Yeah.
I won't mince words. And it's sad that many of the people who are still clinging to that party and that platform don't see that these are communists that have infiltrated our country. And man, they're here,
Yeah.
and they're really getting away with a lot right now.
Definitely. Well, and even what we're seeing with the Republicans that are not true Republicans, they're rhinos, and they're taking the money and running. And I had the analogy maybe a month or two ago where I said, maybe Mason Weaver was on the show. And happy birthday, Mason! Today is Mason's
Is it
birthday.
Mason's
Happy birthday, Mason
birthday,
Weaver out
Mason,
there.
yeah.
Always enjoy having him on the show. But I was saying, the Democrats love the power. And they know that once they have the power, the money comes with the power. The Republicans have learned and realized that they can lose and still get the money. And so that has been, I think, one of the biggest things that's happening.
It's something you're going to see more of in this in the 24 elections.
Yeah.
There's a huge divide that that too many people in the hierarchy of the party refuse to acknowledge. You've got the RNC versus everybody else in the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The RNC tends to be dictating exactly what's going to happen in the party, and it appears to me that they actually despise us base voters out there. That we're just rubes to be manipulated, much like the Democrats. So I'm having kind of a hard time. Being supportive of the RNC. There's tons of candidates out there that I think people need to focus on the candidates, focus on the message that they're sending, vet the candidates. But as far as the RNC goes, I'd love to see them be defunded. But you look at the billionaire donors, this Ken Griffin guy, $100 million to the GOP with the express purpose of being anti-MAGA, anti-America first. So that doesn't, it doesn't. And I think it speaks to your intra-party politics that are going on. There's leading up to 24, it's Trump versus DeSantis. These other people can go ahead and dive in if they want, but if you're paying attention, it's already Trump versus DeSantis. And I wonder, how do you see that from your perspective, being up there?
Well, I'm still not certain what's going to happen. Everybody says, it's going to happen. And I am definitely not in DeSantis's shoes. Like, I don't know what it's like to be him. Down here
he's got a tough gig.
Down here at my level of like deciding to run, a lot of it is like what's expected of you, and like you're the one and everybody's telling you to do it. And I wonder, if that's what he's dealing with right now, because we know what it was like to lose a governor too soon, and that ended very badly for Charlie Crist.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I think I personally feel he's already made the decision. He just can't announce yet, because if you look at the machine that is the establishment machine that's already running
and is DeSantis, pushing all the money behind DeSantis.
All the money, and watch the Republican Governors Association as well. They're already pushing DeSantis, so he might not technically be running, but he's running, and the only reason he hasn't chosen to run yet is because he just got done winning re-election,
right?
And he's got to make it look good. But
and they have to change the rules in Tallahassee.
Yeah, there's talk of them changing the rules in Tallahassee so that he can run, or they were
not
also
have
reading
to give up
in
the governorship,
so that he wouldn't have to give up the governorship to run, which I wouldn't mind. But at the same time, he'll announce in June, and I just find it somewhat. I love the guy, best governor we've ever
we've
had.
come on this show time and time again and talked about how great of a governor he is.
I just find it very disingenuous to pretend that you're not running and have all these sycophants running articles for you saying, is he going to run? Gee, we don't know. Gosh, hope he's running. And then all of a sudden you're getting all the PAC emails ready for Ron. What do you mean he's not running? He's running. We're just waiting. It's just like Nikki Haley telling us 2 weeks ago that she's running for president, announcement, but she's not going to announce it until the 15th. You know? It's like, come on, be real for once. Can we get some real people? And that's why Trump. That's why Trump. We want somebody real. We want somebody who's going to fight. We want someone who's not going to mince words and try and fake us out and manipulate us. And that's all I see coming from a lot of the establishment wing of the Republican Party. Just more manipulation, and so get ready for the excuses when they can't get anything done when they do win.
Yeah. What are your thoughts,
Raemi? Could you imagine the so-called establishment putting forward Ron DeSantis when the establishment during the primary in 2018 said, "Who's Ron DeSantis?" That is just wild. And I want what's best for the country. And as I'm still state committee woman for the Alachua County Republicans, And that's what I tell people. I have mixed feelings. I am a Trumplican. He brought me out of political hiding. I also love my governor, and I'm an ally of the governor. He appointed me to do our work
Sure.
in this
Yeah.
state. So it's really going to be down to what's best for the country and who can defeat the communists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
who
And
can?
unfortunately, I
Who
think,
can?
yeah. And right. And I think that that's what expands the bigger question, the bigger issue is it's now the infighting between the Republicans instead of going after the true enemy, which is the communists and progressive Democrats. And they want the infighting to happen because also at the end of the day, Trump won't win and DeSantis won't win if the election integrity problem is not fixed. And it's not a rumor. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a fact that these problems are happening. And if they don't get addressed by the time 24 rolls around, because now
Doesn't
we've
matter.
already gone through 2 election cycles and nothing has been fixed, lawsuits do nothing but cause after the fact retractions of headlines. And it won't matter who's running in the Republican Party. They
Well,
will
yeah.
both lose.
And look at it this way: the Democrats look at this, and some Republicans are looking at it. One, they get if they can get rid of Trump in the primary, they can get rid of DeSantis in the general, and then there's 2 birds, 1 stone, and
Yeah.
we're screwed.
Yeah. We are in dangerous territory, you guys, and so there's no easy answer.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Have there been any election talk about the machines, anything in Alachua County or no?
Well, we have a very good group that's actually a branch of our REC. It's called Impact Alachua. And these people are just hungry for data. And they actually came to me as state committee woman. There's certain information from the supervisor of elections that is not technically able to be released to the public. So you have to be a political party or a candidate, so forth. So
Is
she
that
tried to do it
voter
as an
rolls?
individual. She wanted addresses, or she wanted a list of vote by mail ballots that were mailed to addresses and then returned, that were
Okay.
actually returned. Yeah, and I think what they're looking for is whether ballots were sent to certain addresses, say where there's nobody there, or incorrect addresses,
Yeah.
and whether those ballots were returned,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Whether people
those
are,
are excellent
harvesting
questions
them
to
and
ask.
filling them out.
Yeah.
So that's a good, so they're working within our REC, and let me tell you, like, there are battles within the REC. There just are. But I mean, that's what it takes, is the tension and the fighting
Sure.
to make the change, to let the so-called establishment know, like, this is the way that we're going, and you're not going to have it easy. Like, we're here. You're going to face us, and we are
Yeah.
incrementally creating this sea change. We really are.
Good.
So
Good.
take hope.
That's what you need to do. Yeah.
Take hope.
Yeah.
See, we've got it easy here in Charlotte County.
Yeah, we do.
We're predominantly,
Yeah.
we're like the flip of Alachua County.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're
I
like
know.
3-1 Democrat to Republican. We're like 3-1 Republican to Democrat.
And that's why in your red counties, you guys just go for each other's throats, because you don't even actually have communists in your neighborhoods, Like, I have literal people on my people who won't talk to me in my neighborhood. And now that I'm running for this higher position, like, they're coming out and they're commenting and trying to get me to respond. And thank goodness I've learned just not to respond, because it doesn't,
Yeah.
nothing I say, like, this person
Yeah.
this person is obsessed with Donald Trump. Her whole family is obsessed with Donald Trump, and they hate him. And they talk about Donald Trump 10 times more than I talk about Donald Trump. And they
Yeah.
Isn't that
believe that
amazing?
abortion is a human right. How that is an oxymoron.
No,
Yeah.
it's murder.
Murder.
It's murder.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like,
Murder.
like
Premeditated
abortion
first
is a
degree murder.
human right.
Yeah.
No.
And there's no discussion with that person. So it's like, I'm going to stay
No.
over here in my happy place and just go,
Bye.
okay,
Have a nice
hello.
life over
I'd
there.
appreciate your vote. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and talking about the difference in counties, we have a follower of this show that lives here in Charlotte County, and she has a
We got a
small.
follower?
I know, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yes, thank you, follower, for following. And she has a small child, and they go to the library, and they're finding these transgender books. And all of the librarians are all these, lefties, because that's the only job they can get anyway. But for you, and especially in Alachua County and some of these other counties, how do taxpayers in your town or other towns, how can they have a say on what kids' books are allowed in their local libraries? Because it is taxpayer funded libraries.
Yeah, and who controls the funding for the libraries? The county commission. And I was there for 5 months actually being able to look at these things, and it's like every day was like, "Oh my gosh, how is this happening, people?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Show up to the meeting, you guys. You got to show up to the meeting." Like just like when a developer wants to build something and they bust in like 100
Yeah, then everybody
people
shows up. Yeah.
to protest. Well, and it's
crazy.
but it's like, come on, guys, you need to let them hear from you, but they
Yeah.
don't. I guess they've become, well, first of all, they're Republicans, so they're working during the day,
yeah.
and it's hard to get to a county commission meeting.
But
But
yours are online too. They video yours online too, don't
they
they? Your
can, yeah.
meetings.
Well, and
You know?
another thing is, a lot of the working Republicans here, they want to they don't want to make waves because then they're going to
Yeah.
get canceled. They're going to get canceled. I made
You're
a
only going to
decision
get
in
canceled if you
2018.
allow yourself to get canceled.
Yeah, because at the end of the day here, we've crossed the point of no return. As Mason has said, you have to be bold. You have to get loud locally. If you lose your local area, then it doesn't matter what's going on in the rest of the country, because you've already lost where you live. So you have to
Yeah,
be able to put your foot down for something and believe in something.
and I think that's what single member districts was for us. It was like a finally, like, oh my gosh, we actually won something. And let's
Yeah.
carry this forward and do something with it. But it
Use
it
the
just takes
momentum.
so much fight, takes so much time, and it takes so much money. The money that Republicans had to put behind the single member districts ballot to push it through, $300,000 for a little local ballot initiative. Who's coming up with that money? So
Yeah.
it's a war, you guys.
It really
Yeah,
is.
it is.
That's for sure.
It is.
I'm
Glad we got
battle
you
weary.
fighting it.
Yeah, I got battle
Well,
weary for just a second.
yeah,
Now
well,
I'm
you got a
back.
long weekend coming up, so
Yeah.
sleep up and then get back on the road there.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh,
Well, we're going to take our music break, and when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about some more news and get your take, Raemi. But folks, if you're watching this show and you're enjoying this show, give us a subscribe. Give us a little click. Hit that subscribe button, whether you're watching on Rumble, YouTube. For now, we are still on YouTube.
Are we?
I think so.
They let me through again?
Yep, we're
Hey,
doing all right.
I'm being a good boy.
Me, Lovejoy's
that's
doing good.
good.
We're on BitChute. Thank you. We've actually got quite a good little audience on BitChute, so thank you for the folks there. You're watching the videos, but you're not subscribing. Hit that little subscribe button. It's all you got to do.
Please.
And leave a little comment down
Probably
below.
just the FBI watching.
I know,
so
it's
they
okay.
Probably won't subscribe.
Yeah, but it's fine. Even so, FBI Soy Boy #1, please subscribe.
Yeah, there you go.
Brighteon, please subscribe on there. And if you're watching on CTA, thank you for watching on CTA. Share that around with your friends as well, ctva.tv. And if you really enjoy this show, you can give us a donation on the Venmo at Mike-Imbasciani _1. Support the show. We greatly appreciate it. Lovejoy will get his apple fritter one of these days. Also, listen and watch the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. And if you want to give us your feedback, not in comment form down below, which you should leave a comment down below anyway, send me an email, MikeImbasciani1@gmail.com. For the full show schedule of my band, all you have to do is go to MikeImbasciani.com. The ticker's been running down below for all the shows. Raemi Burtz is gone. Can you believe it? I hate that. 14 years I played at
I
Burtz.
know. Yeah, I know. Wow, 2020. What a freaking year. That was
Did you
horrible.
did you get back down there after Ian?
I did. I didn't come right away because I knew I'd, be using up fuel that people needed and taking up, a bed and pillow and blankets. And I kind of just sent my moral support. My
Yeah.
family my family were directly affected. And I have been back down. My mom is out captaining off Pine Island, and
Wow.
now, she's an expert with the GPS, but you'll hear a bump underneath, and it's like, oh, is that a refrigerator or a porta potty in the car? So
Yeah.
yeah, we can laugh about it now because they're rebuilding Fort Myers Beach, where I
Hmm.
fell in
Yeah.
love and would go to Dairy Queen to get an ice cream. I mean, it's raised. But the
Yeah.
community's coming out. They got picnic tables up, and a lot of the people who had restaurants or shops now they have like food carts,
Yeah.
and
I've seen that. That's nice
they're
to see.
that is very.
Margaritaville's coming along swimmingly.
Yes, it is. And
Oh gosh,
and it's right there.
but
It's all about the community coming together, and that's what I think is most
yeah,
important. So we have a music
right.
video. Hope you enjoyed this. This was from the Punta Gorda Taste of the Town over at Lashley Park. My band playing a shortened version of the band's "Don't Do It." Enjoy.
Hey, thank you. Oh, baby, don't you do it. Don't do it. Don't you break my heart. Oh, please don't do it. Don't you break my heart. I'll go down to the river, and there I'll be. I'm gonna jump in, girl, 'cause you don't care about me. Open up your eyes. Can you see that I love you? Open up your heart, girl. Can you see that I need you? Oh, baby, don't do it, do it, do it. Don't you break my heart. Oh, please don't do it. Don't you break my heart. My biggest mistake was loving you too much. Then you know. Now you got me where you want me. You won't let me go. If my heart was made of glass, then you'll surely see the heartaches and misery you've been causing me. And you know I'm trying to do my best. Trying to do my best. Don't do it. Don't you break my heart. Oh, please don't do it. Don't you break my heart. Thank you, everybody. We're Mike Imbasciani and the Blues Rockers. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night in the afternoon.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night. All right. So we got a lot to talk about, but I actually want to jump to our Patriot and Traitor of the Week first because I have a lengthy Patriot that I have to give. But Raemi, who is your Patriot of the Week?
Okay, I'm not going to be as lengthy as yours is going to be, but I don't know the political background of the reporter in Ohio who was trying to get to the press about the train derailment and he was arrested. Now all charges have been dropped against him. And I'm going to say that that journalist, whether he believes he's a patriot or not, he is the Patriot of the Week. And a lot of times with journalists, we don't agree with them politically on everything because they identify as liberal, hopefully not leftist. We need to support true journalism. And that journalist, he put himself on the front line, and I really respect that. And we need to praise that when we see it.
Was he the same
So
journalist that was in
Definitely.
that video that you and your mom sent me,
I
Mike?
think so.
Because that guy, I
Mhm.
downloaded the audio. We're going to play that on the show tomorrow morning.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at what happened here, it looks like it was the railroad's fault in everything that they have done.
Yeah.
And Congress has played a role in this as well. And that they thought that this was the correct procedure.
Yeah. Let's just blow it up.
Burn it off.
Yeah. Let's just burn it all up.
That is again, the ramifications for this. We're already seeing dead chickens.
Yep.
And
what are they doing?
roosters.
The government's going down and pulling all the dead fish out of the water, so that they people can't go and see that there are dead fish there. DC Drano had this. Look at this picture from space. The same federal government that told you that the jab was safe and effective, are now saying the air and water are clean in Ohio. Look at that.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
That the axle security video showing the axle burning on that train 40 minutes before it actually derailed, and then talking that reporter who, if it's the same reporter who was arrested, him talking to railroad officials who kind of said, yeah, this is why it's happening, that the railroads have gone to profit above anything, and they've cut crews, cut employees, putting more pressure on the employees that they do have to do the same job that they used to do in 5 minutes, now doing it in 90 seconds, or they can be fired. So I think there's a lot of blame to go around, and rather than going all sensational about, this is going to be a cancer-causing issue for years to come. That this could have been prevented is, I think, the main takeaway. This didn't have to happen, and there's a lot of responsibility that falls on the executives at the whatever, I forget, Southern whatever the railroad line is. There's a lot of blame to go around.
Yes,
and it needs to be dealt with. But in the meantime, to let that stuff burn is just insane.
Yeah. But yes, good patriot, a true journalist trying to find out the truth. That's what journalists are supposed to do.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
Very good. Yes. Ken, who is your patriot?
It would have to be Governor DeSantis. I love the way that he's going after. Oh, don't worry.
Just because Ronnie Boy's best friend Raemi is on the show.
Look, there's a lot that I disagree with, but that all has to do with what he's kind of come up with. President is president, governor is governor. Don't confuse the two, folks. As governor, he's one of the best governors we've ever had.
That's why we want him to stay. We want him to term out.
I want him to stay for the whole term. Because we're not even talking about the lieutenant governor. Who the hell is she? We really don't even know her. I hear she's a nice lady, but I never
don't know her.
A word from her. So I don't know. But the way that he's taken on the colleges and going after the woke and the AP African American studies, I think it's the right thing to do. It needs to be done. This woke CRT and indoctrination has got to go. And so I very much appreciate what he's doing there.
Very good, Ron DeSantis. And what was that? You read something on your radio show the other day, Ken, about saying that the CRT training was not slander or something like that. Was that the story?
Oh, they were trying to say that DeSantis school board that they were slandering the college board, slander. No, if it's true, it's not slander.
Yeah, I think they need to go back to college. So my Patriot of the Week goes out to Chrissy Clark, who's a journalist for the Daily Caller. And this is, like I said, a little bit of a long story here. But 5 adults who formally identified as transgender and sought medical transition services argue that the process was mutilation. So Chrissy here is behind a new documentary from the Daily Caller called Damaged, the Transing of America's Kids, and it features the stories of 5 detransitioners who were harmed by sex reassignment hormones and surgeries. It's a 56-minute film and includes commentary from a gender-affirming doctor and a renowned expert on transsexualism. Quote, this documentary details the abuse that minors and adults suffered at the hands of a medical establishment that seemingly couldn't care less about the outcomes of these people so long as their pockets are adequately lined. And that's what Chrissy said, who conducted the interviews and has produced the film. Clark also added that Damaged gives an insight into stories that are suppressed and underreported by mainstream news outlets. Damaged follows the stories of Chloe Cole, we've heard about her, who chemically and surgically transitioned as a teenager, Abel Garcia, Kat Cattinson, and Xandra with an X. Is that like Latinx?
No, it's like Xanadu.
Yeah, oh, there you go. Who sought medical transition services in early adulthood, and Walt Hayer, a man who spent much of the 1980s living as a transgender woman. And they go into, this article goes into detail of each person and how they went through their process and how they're all saying, I wish the doctor had stopped me. I wish they had required therapy because I need a lot of it. And basically saying,
so you want to transition, huh? Okay, let's get you started.
Yeah.
They don't, no eval or anything like that. And that's beyond this movie that I haven't seen. There's been several stories like that from people that transition and then 5-6 years later, like, what have I done?
Well, and that's the thing. It's 5 or 6 years later. This isn't something that has just popped up now in the last year or two. I mean, Chloe Cole was 11 when she was introduced to gender ideology. Where? On social media. And even more of these people talking about this have said it started with watching videos on YouTube of these people. Yeah. So you want to talk about what should actually be monitored. It's these harmful things that these young kids are being impressioned by. And it's sad and sick to see it, but good on Chrissy for coming out with a documentary like this, because more people need to see what is actually happening and that these young people are regretting it. And that more young people should not be going through it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine back in my day when I was in middle school and high school, the biggest idea around censorship was explicit lyrics on the CDs that I would buy at Walmart or from that CD club where you'd pay like a penny and they'd send
Columbia
you like 10
House.
CDs.
I still owe them money.
Yeah. Like Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. That was like the most controversial thing out there that was poisoning children's mind, or NWA, and lyrics like that. And now it's like actually, transitioning your 8-year-old to become a girl or even to become an animal, right?
Yep, furries.
You guys have heard about
litter
that.
Boxes
Furries
in schools now.
Yeah, well, Sebastian Maniscalco, I just watched his latest special.
Oh,
he talks about that.
Nice.
There's a kid in his son's class who identifies as a tiger.
Oh, nice.
It's like,
let's go back to the explicit lyrics, please.
Where's NWA when you need them?
Wow.
Raemi, who's your trader of the week?
Pete Buttigieg, but we already knew that. But man, this guy.
Same here.
Okay. High five.
That picture.
Thanks.
You should have used one of those meme pictures.
Oh, I have one. I like this one.
No. The one where he's like skipping down the street.
I have that one too. Like that one. I solved racism at construction sites today. It's completely fine.
Everything's fine now.
It's fine.
Derailment? What derailment?
What derailment?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I love this one. Pete Buttigieg promises to investigate the Ohio railway chemical spill for signs of racism.
Racism is what caused that derailment.
Yes, exactly. Well, and I saw something. Pete Buttigieg would investigate, but Ohio just is too many white people.
Yeah.
There's Amish.
There's Amish. Yeah, it's the beards. It's the beards and the coffee filters.
Doilies.
Yes.
Doilies.
No, but yes, my trader of the week as well. But Raemi, do continue.
Oh no, I think you pretty much summed it up. The last headline I saw, it's all Trump's fault. So I hear a lot of that from the communists around here. Like, it was Trump. He did it. He set me up. Like, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ken, who is your traitor of the week?
Traitor of the week is a brand new freshman Tennessee Democrat state rep, Justin J. Pearson. Sorry, Ben, I didn't send you the picture. I forgot all about this. Pearson shows up on the their house floor wearing a dashiki, which is West African and popular, and he's talking about how woke and bad he is.
Was he wearing? Was he going commando with it? Or?
I don't know, but he did have a mask on. He was chastised for it from several members of the House for wearing it because decorum dictates that you wear a suit and tie.
Right.
And he got all these racist white boys type, it's all whitey.
Yeah.
His fault. But what he didn't fail to mention was the lady Lois DeBerry. Lois DeBerry was the Speaker of their House, was one of the first Black female Democrat leaders in state government, and she set the rule. She made the rule because she saw how many at the time, how many people. So what he's essentially doing is he thought he was just dishing on the white man for wearing the dashiki, but when it was a Black Democrat female who said, there he is, who said, no, we want all our members to be properly dressed.
Yeah.
So it was kind of an in his face.
So it was just this like Uncle Tom style racism because they just don't understand that they were whites. They were channeling their inner white supremacy.
It's just,
even though they weren't white.
Just the condescending, ignorant arrogance.
Yeah, exactly.
Of the way that he delivered it without knowing the history of it and just doing it and thinking that it was just racism for making him not wear the dashiki and wear a suit and tie. Yeah. You're a freshman, you need to shut up and learn the ropes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I see
Very
that.
good trader. I will one up my traitor a little bit because while Pete Buttigieg was involved, I have to say that I read something the other day that it really is a microcosm of, you don't understand how much these cabinet members for a political administration are so important, because just a few months ago you have Yellen talking about, I guess I didn't realize inflation was going to be this bad, and now you have Pete Buttigieg in the transportation secretary here, and now you're seeing all of these problems throughout our entire infrastructure across the country. And just the other day, Tucson now has this chemical spill on the road, and they're telling people, the residents of Tucson, ordered to shelter in place following a chemical spill. I took this little still.
Wasn't that chlorine gas?
Yeah.
Or something?
I mean, it's not like, remember when the semi-truck full of monkeys tipped over and you had the sick monkeys going everywhere? This isn't sick monkeys, folks. This isn't even like Pop-Tarts or corn or oranges going all over the road. These are dangerous, deadly chemicals used in warfare in World War I.
Oh, the phosgene.
And all of these things all of a sudden happening. Oh, by the way, right after we find out that it was the U.S. that blew up the Nord Stream pipeline.
Yeah, that's why we need to see UFOs. That's why we need to shoot down 4 things that we really don't have. We allegedly have a cockpit video of, but we really don't know what that is. And now the story coming out of DC about this. So I mean, it just there's no credibility.
Yeah. So really the true traitor is the Biden administration and everybody just involved that is letting the entire country just, excuse me, and Ben, you're going to have to bleep this, but just go to
Oh my God. Oh golly.
It's just going. And it's not good. And
it
shows
design.
that you have to look at every person that's involved with this situation, and they're all accountable.
And part of the vetting process, I'm sorry, Raemi, but are you a member, or you have ever been affiliated with the World Economic Forum?
No. My gosh.
You don't know Klaus Schwab posters in the house? No Dan Crenshaw posters in the house.
I don't, these people, they rise to these positions of power, and you guys I'm telling you now, I am never going to affiliate myself with globalists and communists. You know, put it on the record. Write it down.
On the record. You heard it here
I was
first,
just
folks,
joking.
on the Freedom Chronicles.
I knew you weren't.
I know, but you know, I wonder if Ron DeSantis ever thought he'd be president of the United States, or does that just kind of happen? You know, so I'm ready for these decisions down the road about whether I'll affiliate with the World Economic Forum, and I'm telling you no.
Very good. We like it.
Excellent.
Breaking news, folks. You heard
Breaking
it here
news.
first. You heard it here first.
Congressional candidate.
Anyway, one final story. Well, this is the part of the ridiculousness of the world we are living in, and just how childlike adults are. Mattel announces Barney is coming back with apparel and accessories for adult fans.
Oh, the furries.
The furries will now be able to be the nice. There you go. That's the adult.
There you go.
But no, we have a picture of what the new Barney's going to
Now
look
you
like,
know what
and
to
it's
get me
just
for Christmas.
I know. That's not Barney. That's a woke, like, child-proof version of Barney. I don't like it. That's Barney.
There's Barney.
That's Barney
That's
right
Barney.
there. That is not Barney.
Barney's old. It's just gonna be a cartoon Barney.
Yeah,
now?
something like that.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I don't
What?
like it.
Did you go out? You watched Barney, I guess. When you were a kid, huh?
I didn't, but
You
I
didn't?
watched Rugrats. But
You were a
I-
Rugrats guy.
yeah,
Okay.
Anyway,
My daughter watched Rugrats.
there you go. But I had to bring out the outrage of what truly matters here in America, and it's that Barney is coming back, and it's not right.
It needs to be a man in a Barney suit.
Yes.
We can't have an
Hugging
animated
children.
Barney. Okay, we get it. Thanks, Mike.
Yep, no problem. Raemi, thank you for coming on the show. We wish you all the best of luck running for the Florida State House. I think you'll do great, and it's all about getting the word out there. So any final words you have for folks?
Yes, visit my campaign website, www.raemiforflorida.com. That's RAEMI for Florida.com. Thank you.
Excellent.
True patriot in the Florida House.
Indeed.
Exactly,
Indeed.
a true patriot. Ken,
Thank
thank you
you,
as
guys.
always,
Thank you,
folks.
sir.
For
Thank you for
inviting me.
watching. We greatly appreciate it. Raemi, love to have you on anytime. You're always welcome. And let us know how the race goes as we get closer. We'll have to do it more. Folks, thank you for watching,
right.
of course. Yeah. And from the bunker, good night, everybody.
You're watching Conservative Television of America, working hard to stick socialism where the sun don't shine.